All right, we're back. We're still on page 99, and we're going to finish these off. So let's see if we can do that. So we're rewriting things using the 14 formulas. This one looks pretty standard to me. I mean, one of the things you can do is you can go through and identify like similar things, and then try to like read it, right? So here I have cosine blue, cosine green minus sine blue, sine green. So because of that, I know that I'm dealing with the cosine of blue plus green. So 2x plus 3x, which is the cosine of 5x. And if these keep up like this is going to be a short video, and that would be nice. Let's see. So I'm going to do, now that we're starting with blue, and then green. They're a little more interesting when it's not exactly the same, but like whatever. So this is sine blue cosine green plus cosine blue sine green. That is sine cosine cosine sine. It's sine of blue plus green. So it's sine of 3x plus x. So y equals the sine of 4x. And there you go. All right. So we got that. Let's take a look at this. This reminds me, and that's like really how you do these. You look at them and you're like, this reminds me of one of the formulas. Which formula has sine times cosine and nothing else? It's got to be sine of 2a, I guess. So here we're saying that a is x over 2. So if I say a is x over 2, this is just the sine of 2a, which is really interesting, right? But it's not exactly the sine of 2a because I need 2 sine a cosine a. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 16. 16y is going to be 16 times 1/8 is 2. And we have sine of x over 2 cosine of x over 2. So if I had sine cosine and another cosine sine, I would be thinking something else, but it's only sine and cosine, so it's got to be sine of 2a, basically. So this is 16y is 2 times the sine of 2 times x over 2 is just x. And then we divide, and we get, how do I get back to 1/8? Does that make sense? 1/8 the sine of 2x. That like doesn't make sense to me. What did I do? I multiplied both sides by 16. And then, oh, there we go. That's why it didn't make sense to me. So you follow your intuition, right? So when you do these, it's 2 times sine cosine is 1 times sine of 2x. So that was not there. So this is actually 1/16. Saved it from a tragic ending. All right, and then let's look at this. So here we have, this is interesting because there's kind of like 3, if we start highlighting in color, we would have this, but there's not another one of those. And then we would have this, and then we would have this. All right, so the question becomes, can we take any 2 of them and turn them into the same thing? Well, negative 5x and 5x, definitely we can turn into the same thing. I'm going to use the fact that sine is odd and say that the sine of negative 5x is the negative of the sine of 5x. And cosine 3x plus sine 3x and cosine of 5x. And then I really like to rearrange these formulas so that they look the way I like them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part here and write it first so that I can do sine cosine minus cosine sine. And I'm going to rearrange as I go. So it's going to be y equals sine cosine, and then it's minus cosine sine. So minus cosine 3x sine 3x. And then maybe I should show you how to do some of this on your calculator. So this will be sine cosine minus cosine sine. That's the sine of, so what's interesting is that it's the sine of like a minus b. So we got here, and then we have here and here. I should have used green because that's the color that stayed. Let's do that. Here and here, right? What am I writing? That's wrong. Good thing I decided to do that. This is supposed to be 5x. Silly. There we go. There. All right, so this is going to be the sine of 3x minus 5x, which is not a problem. That's the sine of negative 2x. And then we're not going to leave that. We're going to use the fact that sine is odd to say it's the negative of the sine of 2x. So that's going to be our final answer. So now let's go to the calculator and just see what it can do for us, if anything. So on some of these, I think it can. On some of these, I think maybe it can't. We'll find out. So the things you're going to use primarily, I'm going to start a new problem, I think. The things you're going to mainly use are menu, then option 3, and then if you press up, 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 or just press B, there's trig. There's trig expand and trig collect, and I can never remember which is which. I think we're probably going to want to collect on these. I don't know. Basically, I just try both of them and see if one of them is helpful. They usually both do something, so we'll see. So what I'm going to do first is just try typing in. So I'm looking at A. It's 3 cosine of x, then square it, minus 3 sine of x, and then square it, and then like add 4 for some reason. Oh, look at that. Just press enter. And it gives you, it does not give you what we got. We got 3 cosine of 2x plus 4. This is 6 cosine squared of x plus 1. So now I'm going to try trig expand, I think, and see what happens. So expand the answer. Now I'm going to try collect. What was it? C? Nope, it was B. And then, so what did we try? We tried collect. Nope, we tried expand. You know what? I'm just going to type collect. The answer and see what happens. There we go. Okay, so why does one do one thing and the other do the other thing? I'm not entirely sure, because sometimes it like, let me trig expand this. Sometimes it like does not really appear in my mind to make it any simpler. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess that's expanding because it went from one thing to another. I don't know. So I'm going to try trig collecting B, right? So it was 9 minus 18 sine of x squared 9 cosine of 2x. So we got it. Let me try, I don't really know what the limits of this are, so let me try collecting C. So it's 8 minus 4 sine of 3x and then squared. So it gives us 2 cosine 6x plus 6. Nice. Let's see what it has to offer on J. So I'm going to T collect sine of negative 5x cosine. Sometimes I try to like think about how I would go about programming something like this, and I'm not a programmer to begin with, and I like, what's step 1? I have no idea. Like, what do we base anything on? So we get negative sine of 2x. So this is a great way that you can check all of your answers. Be familiar with it. Trig expand, trig collect, T expand. I use those a lot, like more than anyone I've ever seen. I use those partly, I think, because I know they exist. But you should try them because you can like try to make your own problems, see if you can do them, you know, like check them out. Anyway, I'll be back in the next video for page 100, which feels like a big accomplishment, but pretty much every page is a big accomplishment. And anyway, I will see you there.